I don't know. They could be little punks.
I think he just means for like the future civilization.
I know what he means, but I'm just saying, what do they suck, bro? We suck as it is. Humans suck besides you and you and you.
Maybe they just need
Wait a second. Whoa.
You're a scumbag.
Wow.
And it's so...
Start off talking about the new producer who fucking hates me. He's like, yo, have you ever tried sitting off the show for an extended period of fucking time? The fans hate you.
Our new producer's name is Dylan. Can we show him? He comes in, the first thing he tries to do is kick Mike off the show.
He's like, the fans hate you. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure they're saying the opposite, dude. Like, what episode are you watching?
You hit home runs sometimes. Hey, welcome back to Impaulsive, by the way, the #1 podcast in the world. And that is a fact. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe wherever you listen, watch, view, podcasts, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, whatever. We do an extended audio Q&A with the guests after the visual is done. So stick around for that. It's exclusive, it's juicy, and we get into
Wow. Starting this off.
How many miles did you ride today on
102.
You rode 102 miles on a bike this morning.
Have either of your asses ever died?
Your ass is dead.
One time. I was in the Mediterranean.
Oof.
Why?
Yeah,
Did that happen
sketch out
today?
there, huh? Yeah, my ass is currently dead.
Is it because the bike seat is not comfortable? Right?
That's a big part of it. Yeah. Yep. Sitting on a bike seat for 5.5 hours.
I feel like a lot of people are wondering why the fuck you did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have no reason why you rode 100 miles.
Well, you got the triathlon coming up. We're training.
Did that have anything to do with it?
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, tight.
No.
Well, speaking of athletics and sports and sore asses, our guest today is dope, and he's awesome, guys. I want to bring him on. Introducing our guest. He is a vegan bodybuilder whose muscles have muscles. He's been featured in Muscle and Fitness, and he's never eaten meat in his life.
Oh boy.
Ever. That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nimai Delgado. Woo!
Brother. What's going on, guys?
You've never eaten meat in your life?
No, never.
Come on.
Whoa.
Not even a
didn't know
little tad?
Are you
Never.
sure?
100% positive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Like, what did your parents feed? Like, when you went to go get a cheeseburger at Denny's or some shit, like, what would they get you?
First, we never got cheeseburgers at Denny's. Both of my parents are vegetarian. So that's how I was raised. Me, my brother, and my sister, all vegetarian.
Well, wait. Let's clarify meat real quick. Eggs?
No.
No eggs.
No.
No fish.
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't get me wrong. When I was older, there was a period where I tried eggs, and like when I was growing up, there were some products that had like eggs baked into it and things like that. I wasn't like too particular about that, but now that like obviously the last few years, like no egg products whatsoever, no meat, no beef, chicken, fish.
Bro, that's nuts. So I want to dive into that, but look at this man's physique, ladies and gentlemen, specifically ladies. Look, bro, you are ripped out of your mind. Your muscles have muscles. This is crazy, man. Good for you. I have a question. Are there more dudes or women sliding into your DMs?
Dudes.
Are you serious?
100% dudes.
No way.
100% dudes?
Oh,
or
no.
100%. I'm trying to better understand the statistic
more
that you're
guys,
serving.
more guys.
No
More
way.
guys, for
What's
sure.
the ratio?
I would say it's probably 70-30.
Wow.
70-30 dudes.
You have a girlfriend, so that probably...
No, that never stopped anybody.
Okay.
That never stopped. The thing is like...
Except you.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It seems like it stopped you from
like
responding
taking
to some
advantage
dudes
of any of the of anyone.
Not the dudes, but no, like to be honest, most of the DMs I get are people asking for advice.
Okay.
And it's mainly guys that want to build muscle.
Oh, not trying to hit on you.
No, there's
that's the angle
definitely,
I was taking.
Okay, no, there's definitely guys and ladies that come in the DMs and make their pass, but I got a girlfriend and I don't swing that other way.
No, I feel you.
Yeah,
Respect.
respect.
So they're asking for advice. You're a good person to ask advice to, obviously. Man, how do I get those muscles? Do I have to be vegan and never eat meat? Because I'm way past that.
No, anybody can build muscle, but I mean, it just takes years of training. I've been working out since I was 16, 17, and this is just, 10 years after the fact.
I feel like you're sort of at home. You're sort of in a comfortable place now. You got a lot of vegans with you.
Yeah,
I think
you're
that's
surrounded by vegans.
How many?
Spender DeWender is
Bianca.
vegan.
Yep.
Bianca, your girlfriend.
Andre.
Well,
They actually
Andre.
outnumber
Yeah, I forgot
us
about
right
Andre.
now. Like, we're outnumbered by vegans right now.
Is there a chance?
Well, no. Is there more?
I think
crew
that's
over there?
it.
Okay, so we're not outnumbered.
no
But I
vegans.
just mean
But the
on
ratio's good.
this set here.
But how?
Oh shit!
Look! Hey, we all
Looking
love
to fight?
vegans. Vegans are dope. They're plant based. What's it like being vegan in the fitness community? Is there a stigma against the type of muscle you can build and how much of it you can build?
Yeah, there's definitely a stigma, I would say. I mean, in the fitness community, it's a little bit, it's harder to like help people understand that you can build muscle, right? First of all, people are like have trouble building muscle in general. And then they see like a vegan that has any significant muscle mass. And then they're like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. Like it's real.
That's real muscle.
It's real.
Plant-based muscle.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, it's
like a watermelon
It's
in your
pretty
arm.
soft at first, but when you flex, it gets hard. Can I do it one more time?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
All right, now unflex.
Oh, unflex?
It looks like a walnut that
Yeah, a chickpea.
Hey, look at this.
is massive.
Can we zoom in on that? It looks like someone stuck a football in your arm.
We use protein on the meat eater side to gain muscle. Do you use photosynthesis? Like you gain muscle from the sun? Is that how it works?
Well, that's where all protein is like originated. So technically, yeah, secondhand.
Oh, shit.
Secondhand from the plants.
Photosynthesis.
So are you also really into like the biology of how?
Yeah, you know what? I never started off like this was like never a goal of mine. Like my background and what I went to school for was engineering. And
Hey, same, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
which one?
Industrial and systems.
Okay, I did mechanical.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, we
tight.
did a little bit of industrial, but
Okay,
I
tight.
hated it.
Damn,
But,
you guys should totally bro out later over some fucking
I'm sure we will.
engineering
Let's go.
I'm sure we will.
Build like a bridge or something.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, maybe not. Maybe we're not qualified to build a
Shit.
bridge.
All right,
Yeah.
put in a sewer system.
He
under
can
I don't
build
know.
it himself. Literally, like he can just haul all the materials and I'll make it happen. True. Okay.
But yeah, no, I never intended to like be in this industry.
Gotcha.
That's the thing. So from the biological perspective, like understanding what works, yeah, it's interesting to me, but it was never like a goal of mine. But to be honest, after getting so many questions online that you kind of like have to understand things a little bit better so you can explain to people, you know?
What is the most common question that you're being asked?
Protein for sure. Like how do I go vegan and not lose size? How do I go vegan and stay healthy? How do I go vegan and build muscle? Is it healthy? Do I have to supplement? Can you get all of your essential nutrients and vitamins from a vegan diet? That's a majority of it. Or I want to build muscle, lose weight at the same time, you know, the standard.
And you have answers to all these questions?
Yeah, of course.
Great. I'm going to ask one right now.
Go.
So little personal anecdote. We've talked about it on the show before. I was vegan for 4 months. Last year, I was down to try anything. And
Anything?
no, I mean, God, I know I just said it twice, but not anything. But I was in a point in my life where I was like searching to find myself a little more. And so I was just experimenting with different diets, my relationships with people, etc. And I went vegan for 4 months. This was also while I was training for the boxing fight. And I went to a nutritionist, had a chef, and she made, I think it was like 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day, the right amount of protein, everything. I was doing it like perfect, except my muscles began eating themselves. I had to drag myself out of bed this morning. I was sleeping 12 hours a day. Training was miserable. I ended up looking gaunt. Like I might as well have been a skeleton. And I was getting mentally affected by it. Like I was depressed. Like my friend George, he sat me down. He was like, yo, I have to ask you depressed. And he asked me if it was because of my diet. And I said, no, but I was clearly affected by being vegan. Does everyone react to being vegan the same way? Is it possible? Are you open to the idea that being vegan isn't for everyone, or you think maybe I did something wrong?
No,
And you can be honest with me.
No, yeah, 100. I'm like real when it comes to this stuff. You know, like everybody's different. You know, everybody's bodies respond differently, and everybody has like a different internal, you know, cues that respond differently to food. So for you, you know, your situation might have been a little bit unique to you because you were training. You said you were training for a boxing match,
it was
right?
like 4 hours a day.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's a long time
Yeah.
to be training. And on top of that, you were eating a brand new diet that you probably weren't accustomed to before.
Yeah.
Like, what was your diet before that?
I mean, the exact opposite. It was
Exact
still
opposite.
very healthy, but lots of meat-based protein.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the nutritionist said that one of the only problems was that you were working out too much.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
But I wonder on a regular diet, like would the results have
Plus,
been
we
the
had that
same?
chef switch too. I'm not gonna throw out names, but the food definitely got better.
Agree.
After that switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different factors there. Overtraining is definitely a possibility, but also like adapting to that new diet, like, and then going full force into like ultra training mode for this fight, right? So if you've been eating, how old are you right now?
24.
24. So if you've been eating that way for 23 years of your life, and then all of a sudden you do like a hard left and you do something completely different, like your body has to adapt in order for you to even create the environment to assimilate those nutrients. So there could have been maybe a lack of assimilation from some of the nutrients you were eating, or like the food you were eating, but also like giving your body enough time for like your microbiome to adjust. Because if you eat
microbiome,
so basically we all have bacteria in our digestive system, and based off of the food you feed it, you will kind of like cultivate different environments that could be more suited for digesting plants or more suited for digesting meat.
How long is that process?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Is it different for everyone?
It's different for everybody. It's like the best way I heard it described is like it's a fingerprint. It's unique to everybody. So depending on how long you've eaten a certain way will kind of be like the deciding factor of how long it could take you to adapt to a new diet.
Gotcha.
I don't know if this is a myth, but people who eat meat, I'm sure this can happen from plants too. It's been said that you have parasites that can, be in your stomach, and those have to get flushed out when you switch over. Is that a myth? Is there some truth to that?
I mean, definitely animals carry parasites, right? And if you ingest animals, you could possibly digest those parasites as well, and you could develop some, parasites in your body. But it's more about like the bacteria in your body and whether or not that is able to, because that's like the first place it goes. It goes into your digestive system and gets into your stomach, and that's where all these things live, in your digestive tract, and that's what's like absorbing nutrients and giving them the place to like go where they need to go. So if you don't have the right bacteria, you physically can't. Like, okay, what type of vegetables did you start eating? Like when you went vegan for those 4 months, like what was your diet like?
It was great.
Like, I had a lot of fiber, a lot of gas, a lot of stuff like that.
Like it was perfect, to be honest with you. Like, again, I made sure every day I was eating a certain amount of a certain food, veggie, whatever it was.
He almost died.
I almost died.
He actually, at one point, he has this really nice platform bed right now. And there was at one point, he tried to order in a crypt. He was going to start sleeping in like a coffin. And I was like, dude, something about this dude doesn't seem like the right play. He's like, man, I'm not feeling it. Like I'm turning into a fucking plant.
Are you one of the vegans who is pressing the vegan movement on the non-vegans, or do you try to educate the ones who are to do the best that they can?
Yeah, I'm all about meeting people where they are. So I grew up in a bit of a unique environment. So I grew up obviously eating vegetarian, but I grew up in South Mississippi. And like both of my parents, one of the reasons why I was raised vegetarian is because both of my parents are Hindu. So they're from Argentina, converted from Catholicism to Hinduism.
Oh, this is crazy. Dude.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
They went from a temple in Argentina and basically went from Argentina to Brazil to South Mississippi, of all places, because they had a temple farm-like community down there. And It was literally like a bubble. So inside of that bubble was a cow sanctuary. We had our own garden, self-sustaining garden. We had a temple. And
so
that's
you're
how
Amish?
What's that?
You're Amish?
No, not
You're like
Amish.
the beard.
It sounds like what you're describing.
Do you guys ride
Hindu.
in like a horse and wagon still and stuff?
No. We had electricity. I mean, it was just like a very like humble place where everybody kind of did their own service and just it was like a faith-based community.
Did you ever have that big beard like with the
No,
Again, that's Amish.
That's
No, I know. You told me he was Amish.
I know. I made a mistake.
Oh, sorry. All right.
No, it
Fair
was more like women wearing saris and men wearing dhotis and like, what you'd see in India.
Oh.
That's in South Mississippi?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you still Hindu?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa. I don't think I've ever met.
Shit.
This is the first
That's
Hindu on
amazing,
Impulsive.
dude.
No, you
We
guys
love
had
Hindu people.
Jay on the show, right?
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Jay's
Oh.
Hindu?
Yeah.
Jay Shetty.
Yeah.
Okay, second Hindu.
Oh,
Second
Jay
Hindu.
Shetty. I meant Jay Alvarez. I was like, what?
I learned very young from a Hindu teaching that eating ass was the way to serenity and promise in life.
Could be the
Yeah, I
path for
could
some
totally
people.
see Alvarez being a good Hindu boy.
No, that's why I believed it for a second. Dang. Man, that's crazy. So, okay. Because when you first said South Mississippi, I was thinking, wow, it seems like a place that not a lot of vegans are. But you're saying it
for
was
sure.
a little tight-knit community.
Oh yeah, but it was. I mean, in that community, it's vegetarian.
Okay.
So no meat, no fish, no eggs, nothing like that. But just they would include dairy products. So dairy that was derived from like the milk from the cows that lived on the farm. So it's something called ahimsa milk. So ahimsa is like the concept of compassion and nonviolence, and that's the way that. Well, it used to be the case in India where they would treat the cows with like love and respect because they saw it as like almost like they tried to treat it with as much respect as possible. So obviously now things have changed with factory farming and everything else. But in that farm, they would raise them. They wouldn't sell off the calves or anything like that. And then whenever the cow would produce milk, whenever it was pregnant, then they would milk it and then serve it in the community.
James Aspie told us some pretty horrifying stuff about
James.
the way they they get milk from cows via factory farming.
A lot of that stuff ended up getting like disputed online. Like I had a lot of people reaching out to me about kind of fear mongering. And not to say that stuff's not happening, but like one person works for the top distributor of meat in the United States and was just like, yo, this is all not happening in our company. Like he's like, I'm one of the handlers at the company. But none of this is true. It's fear mongering on the part of vegans to get people to switch out of meat eating. I'm not saying that's true, but like I took a lot of the stuff that James especially said with a grain of salt, because he really served it up in the most horrific sense ever. And I'm not saying that's not happening, but I don't think it's happening at the rate that.
My question would be, I'm sure it's happening somewhere that these stories are derived, right? Yeah. So
I think they're evolving.
How many places is like too many places?
I don't know, but that's I'm not going to decide that. I'm just saying, like I don't want to focus on the meat industry as an inhumane industry and say that it's happening everywhere, when it is probably in a select few places.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can milk a cow like just, go into a field and milk a cow. But the problem is when you scale it, right? And you have such high demands that you have to make things operate more efficiently, right?
Automate.
You have to automate. You have to have systems in place. Industrial engineering, right? You understand the concept. And it's like, that was one of the reasons why I went vegan in particular, was because at the time I was an engineer and I had moved to California. And I had seen a video of kind of what goes on behind the dairy industry and seen all the mechanical systems that are in place to make this operation run efficiently, smoothly, and to, increase their profits. And I just thought to myself, I was like, man, this is so similar to what I was doing at the time, but for a totally different industry. Like I worked in the oil industry. So my responsibility was to optimize their systems for like gas plants, and the plants looked very similar. So I thought to myself, I was like, man, I'm sitting here working for this company, trying to, make things operate more smoothly, save money, save cost. And there's the dairy industry that's doing the same thing at the expense
animal lives,
the expense of animals, with no respect and no regard to their well-being. So that's when I made the decision to just kind of cut out dairy altogether.
What's your age, Nimai?
29.
29.
Yeah.
Damn, you look so young. That's that vegan skin. That's that vegan glow. I swear to God, you both have it.
Yep.
Y'all are always glowing. I look hungover half the time.
You are hungover.
Are you hungover?
Oh yeah.
Counter that point. We had one of their friends roll back on veganism, and he was a vegan the whole time we knew him, and he was always like a pale kind of like walking around guy like this. He came back, and I'm like, damn, bro, he had fucking olive oil skin. He was golden brown, like he just came out of the oven, 375. I was thinking about taking him on a date, and I'm straight as an arrow, bro.
He's talking about Anton.
Anton. So like,
he ate cheese though. I mean, that was it.
What a fuck,
what a
bro.
fucking cheesehead.
Yeah.
Hey,
no, he's a cheesehead.
But are you still friends with him? Because he's not.
Of course.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No, you're not.
We're hanging out this weekend.
No. Right? When he told you two that he goes, Logan, I'm actually not vegan anymore. I saw your guys' eyes.
Whoa. Don't get me wrong. It was a shock, because out of all the people to like do that, him was a shock. But no, I mean, I'm not going to be judgmental. I think it's like the same reasoning for me is the demand for, like, even if you look at what Leonardo DiCaprio puts in his films, like the demand for meat is just not sustainable. Yeah. There's going to come a point in our near future, like Lil Dicky's video, he's talking like 12 years. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Yeah. That's what scientists are saying. That's how much time we have. I think that point is coming. I'm curious, like, what do you guys think about that short timeline?
I want to hear his answer first.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I think we're growing at an unsustainable rate. People are living longer and they're eating more, right? And it takes land to provide those resources to people. And majority of like the farmland is fed to animals to feed to humans. So it's like there has to be some change there. And like obviously not eating the animals is like a really good place to start, that everybody can kind of like, take ownership of that. So I mean, it's our future generations that we're talking about. It's not necessarily our lifetime. I don't expect to see it in our lifetime. But if you want your kids or your grandkids or your grandkids to have a planet where they can enjoy and have the same type of luxuries that we had, then like we have to do something about it. Like
it's hard for me. This is. I probably shouldn't say this.
No, say it, man. Say it.
No, it's just like to picture my grandkids. Like, do I really give a shit about them? What if they suck?
Wait,
like, I don't know. Like, what if they suck? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know them. They could be little punks.
I think he's just means for like the future civilization.
I know what he means, but I'm just saying, what do they suck, bro? We suck as it is. Humans suck besides you and you and you.
Maybe they just need
Wait a second. Whoa.
You're a scumbag.
Wow.
And so am I. And you have to admit that.
United as one.
No, I mean, we all suck on many different levels. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the difference is like individually we can make a small change and it makes a grand scale difference.
That was the question I was going to ask too, is like, how do you decide like what cause? I love compassion towards animals. I love animals, but like, does that take you away from doing things? Like, what do you drive for example?
I drive a Jeep.
Like, are you concerned about climate change at all?
Yeah, of course.
But I know you're doing more for climate change by not eating meat. I do know that because we've talked about those statistics and I believe those. But it's just sometimes like I feel over inundated. Like there's a homeless person right there. There's like sometimes like someone like me who's not as conscious as you two in terms of like stuff that's happening outside of the business world or the influencer world or whatever. I get over inundated and I shut down and I hate being like that.
That's a great,
like, where do you?
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when it does get overwhelming too, because there is so many different things you could be passionate about that you could make a difference in this world. And like, to me, it can get overwhelming too. Like, which avenue do you choose? Like, do I just stop doing everything altogether? Because it obviously leaves some kind of footprint. But for me, it's like making those small changes. You know, you can make the light bulbs in your house change. You can drive an eco car. You can do all those things. You can recycle. But you know, the studies show that like the biggest difference you can make is just by choosing what you eat, because everybody eats and you do it 4, 5, 6 times a day in some cases. So like choosing where you invest your money is supporting those companies. So even if you're choosing to invest your money into more conscious capital companies that are making a shift and making a change, maybe not overnight, but that's like the kind of direction we need to go, because obviously we've created a system that isn't sustainable and it's been working for the past 100 years, but not for the next 100. So it's up to like people like us, the younger generations, to, you know, use our voice and maybe even inspire the future generations to be the next politicians that come in and make like serious change.
But Nimai, I feel so useless when it's just me recycling or eating a plant-based diet. The thought that plagues my mind is how much of a difference am I, me, Logan, singular, truly making right now?
Well, let me put it this way. Like, one of my favorite quotes of all time is like, what can I do? I'm just one person, said 1 million people, right? Okay. So when you phrase it that way, if everybody makes a small change and 1 million people make a change, that's a huge difference, right?
So do you just have to trust? Do you have to trust that there are some good people out there making changes just like you?
Yeah. I mean, you can't control what everybody else is doing. The only thing you control is yourself and your actions and your thoughts and what you do, you know? So like, to give you an example, like, I posted a video about this recently about like the impact from just like the food you eat from like an animal perspective and a resource perspective. So most people are really like infatuated with bodybuilding or infatuated with protein intake, and the normal amount is how much? How much protein should you get per day?
60 grams.
1 gram per 2.2 kilograms 60 of body mass. So I don't know, I just made that up.
30
is that
grams,
right?
close. 60 grams.
Fuck yeah.
60 grams. So that's for like your average, like regular, normal person, right? For like an athlete that's trying to build muscle, normally you hear like the 1 to 2 gram range, right? It's like you weigh 190 pounds, you need at least double that in protein to build muscle, right? So if you were like, for me, I weigh, I don't weigh 180 right now, but I did like last year, you know what I mean? So I would get about 150. So like, you know, a fraction of that. I wouldn't even get up to 1 gram per pound of protein, but most guys are eating 2 to 3 times that are 180 to try to put on muscle. And like the amount of like animal protein that people consume, like most of the time, the bodybuilding fitness diet is like chicken, fish, eggs in the morning. Yeah. Grass-fed steak, you know, wash it down with a whey protein shake. Every single one of those are derived from animals. So if like, for simplicity's sake, if you were to just get your protein from one source like chickens, you would need at least 1 chicken per day. You know, so at least 1 animal per day, just if you were to get strictly all your protein from chicken. Now, if you did that every single day or 2 times that much, you're talking about over 700 chickens per year And not only that, but it's the resources that's embedded into those chickens, right? You got to raise, you got to raise the crops to feed the chicken. You got to have the water to feed the crops to feed the
transportation, the gas, all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, all that stuff is just like extrapolated, and then like the reduction, like or the inefficiency between like the amount of energy and resources it takes to raise the chicken is like it can be as bad as 15-1 or 5-1 in some, like depending on the animal. I think beef is 6-1, so it's like you're putting in 6 times more effort just to get 1 gram of animal protein.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons celebrities and like influencers feel the pressure of responsibility more than average folks is, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a tastemaker. And so while he says I'm just one guy, technically he's 50 million guys.
No, but
if you start spurting out that knowledge of what, eating plants and like doing all these good things lead to, technically a lot of your fans are going to do the same thing. So I think you're a huge scumbag for not doing anything, to fucking change.
No, but look, he's allowing the space for people to talk about it, which is just as awesome.
For sure. Bro, I did it for 4 months, and still speak highly about it. Like I think there's a lot of people. Honestly, I think everyone should try being vegan. And I mean that that concern, and the reason I voiced it is because like, bro, even me, not to be cocky, but even me, like I do have a voice and I could make a difference. And I know that. Even me, that thought's still in my mind. So imagine Jimmy in Kansas, bro. How does he feel when he's the one person in his town that doesn't want to eat meat?
And everyone's calling him soy boy.
Soy boy. Everyone's calling Jimmy soy boy.
You just gotta wear it, Jimmy. Jimmy, wear it, okay? I'm a soy boy, you're a soy boy. Let's do this together.
Too. Yeah, own that shit.
And who's gonna call him soy boy? Who's gonna call him nobody?
Everybody, do it. At least online, everybody does.
Yeah, everybody calls everybody shit online. That's why I got fired from Impulsive because the 12-year-old keyboard fucking warrior.
This is the first time somebody's called me soy boy in real life, so thank you.
There we go.
I mean, I didn't say it. He said it. I didn't say he said it.
I said Jimmy.
He said it.
You said it.
Yeah, Spencer said it.
Oh, I said it.
Y'all should fight. Y'all should fight.
No,
I'm good.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with telling people to try to go vegan, and I'm curious to hear from you. There's so many different people out there promoting a vegan diet, but then not a lot of them are actually really well informed. I've found. There was actually one that was promoting a raw vegan diet, and she got caught eating fish.
Oh, I saw that
recently because she was having health issues. But like, there's so much science that 100% raw vegan diet is not healthy. Like long term,
doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah, long term, there's a lot of health issues. So like, how do you know? Like, just telling someone to try veganism is like, to me, that's very dangerous because if they don't do it in an informed way, something where I've learned, where I've scaled back on telling people to go vegan is it's a huge conversation. It's not just as simple as, oh yeah, I'm just going to stop eating meat. Because then you might go to the store, buy some lettuce, buy some things that aren't going to give you your nutrients, and then you're actually going to get legit sick.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, you're changing your lifestyle. You've lived a certain way for 20 something years. Like you've got it down. Like you know what to do. And if you change your lifestyle overnight, like you wouldn't build a house with no blueprints, right? You would at least try to like.
He might.
You could. And you can build a shitty house, unless you're like a genius and you just figure it out along the way.
I mean, listen, I do have the highest IQ in the house.
It's
so
true.
It may happen, but
I believe you. I believe you.
Fucking tied with Andre, whatever.
But it's like you have to do the research behind it, and you have to inform yourself before you make such a big decision, because you can just go be like, okay, what do vegans eat? They don't eat this, and that, but they don't necessarily think of all the other things that they could eat. It's more of like, I can't eat this, but they don't frame it as like, I can't eat all this, So, I mean, you can just start off by slowly eliminating. Like, I think raw food diets are for some people. That's like at the far end of the spectrum, right? Like, I don't promote a raw diet. I don't think it's the best diet for anybody.
Doing things raw is dangerous a lot of times in life.
Very true.
What I'm saying? Sometimes you got to really think through.
I mean, sometimes you have to cook food to get the nutrients.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, a lot of times it feels good, but it could harm you in the long run.
Stay away from going.
Raw is dangerous.
Raw is dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but it's dangerous. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But it's also dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't think a raw diet is the way to go. And
sorry, now every time you say that word, I'm just
you want to call it something else?
Uncooked
diet. Yeah, but I mean, okay, for her, for example, I mean, there's a lot of factors that we probably don't know about her. She built her platform on selling this diet, essentially. Like, that's her livelihood. So I could see the conflict with somebody like her to not want to come out and say, hey, I'm no longer vegan, guys. That's a lot of, like, as influencers, I can relate to her. I can empathize for her, that it's a big pressure. It's a lot of opinions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the diet is the the source. You know, it could be a lot of personal issues that went on with that person. And just the same way that, you know, everybody is unhealthy in a sense, you know, but it tends to be the outliers that get, you know, more publicity. You know, there's a million people that are dying from, you know, disease and heart disease and cardiovascular issues or diabetes and things like that are derived from meat. But it's just like, kind of just like, that's just how it is. But, you know, when a vegan comes out and says, hey, I wasn't healthy because of it for like really personal reasons, then it's like, oh, that vegan diet is, it's not like working for anybody.
It's selective.
Yeah.
I feel like people have trouble with it because it's such a drastic, it's not as drastic as you would think it is, but like the thought of not eating meat is so drastically different from what we've done as a human civilization forever. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's just a lot to swallow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in reality, the industrial age, like really helped us scale up how much meat we were eating for generations and civilizations before us. It was more like, you know, a delicacy rather than a staple for every meal. So that's probably why, you know, they didn't see the same type of disease that we did. And again, that scalability problem that I was telling you about with factory farming, it's producing like, you know, things that we haven't seen in the past. So even like, okay, there's a study for, what was it? The gladiators. Like there's a study that shows that the gladiators were predominantly vegetarian. So it's like, and those are like some of the most badass people in history. Yeah, exactly. And they were vegetarian. So it's like, it's more like, you know, it was more like a supplement to their diet rather than like the staple of their diet.
Gotcha.
So we've been eating plants our entire existence, you know?
Since you are a heavy vegan and you go to the gym often, how often, by the way?
It's like once a day.
Once a day. Do you have a cheat meal?
Yeah.
What is that cheat meal? How can you have fun if you're not eating?
Man.
Veggie grill.
In LA, it's fucking easy.
LA's easy.
LA is really easy.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's some really good vegan desserts. What's yours?
I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I do like the raw vegan cheesecake. Like, raw vegan
He
cheesecake.
doesn't like it.
No, it's strong. I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Really?
I think your sister brought it one time for us. Yeah, shout out Andre's sister.
I thought we had one from Veggie Grill the other day that wasn't as good. Someone brought one back here.
No, it was a carrot cake.
Oh, carrot cake.
They're delicious.
Oh, yeah. I
those.
love carrot
He
cake
loves the
too.
cookies too, the chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, realistically, you could eat all the same foods that you normally eat that have been veganized now. There's so many alternative meats that are available. You can have vegan pizza. You can have vegan chicken wings. You can have vegan buffalo wings.
Yeah,
I mean, everything, you know?
Okay, so you're in a relationship with that girl over there.
I am? Yeah. Hey, babe.
Hey, babe. How you doing? Is she on social media as well?
Yeah, she is.
Do you guys have, like, what's it like being so attractive to so many people and getting so much attention? Does that ever mess with the relationship in any way?
I mean, I feel like you should know. You know, like you probably get a lot of attention from people, and people try to, like, it is challenging. Like, okay, when we first started dating, we didn't really talk about it or publicize it at all because we knew that we had to, first of all, get to know each other, you know, better. When we first started talking, we were like across the country. And when we first met in person, we were like, you know, still getting to know each other. So we weren't going to blast each other all over social media and then just have people insert their opinions and whatever else. So yeah, it can be challenging for sure. But as long as you have that open
Like,
mind.
are people hitting on her often?
Oh, celebrities, you name it, NFL players.
Who's sliding in the DMs? Who's in the DMs?
Yeah, let them know.
Who's in the DMs? Who's in the DMs? Who's in the DMs?
But yeah,
Is-
football players. And
Football players. Man.
Rappers.
Wait, from the
actors.
what'd you say, Matt? From the Eagles Falls? Is that what you said? All right, we'll report that. TMZ, pick that shit up. You heard it here first.
So do you have
Bianca in the love sack?
Do you have rules for each other? Like, this post is too sexy, too revealing. You have to post about me once a week.
No, I take like 95% of her pictures, and most of them she's half naked.
Do you give him photo cred?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I forget, but usually.
Do you yell at her when she doesn't give you photo cred?
Sometimes I do.
I know
Sometimes I
people
do.
who do that. I know
gotta-
people who do that. No, that's
No,
fine, man.
but it's like, yeah, a ton of guys and girls hit on her too. But it's like, as long as you have that open line of communication and like you're not hiding anything and you're just like open with each other, then you don't have anything to fear.
What's the difference in follower count between you two?
I don't even know.
Oh, you don't know?
She's got more. Obviously she's got more.
I didn't know that.
Do you think
How many
that
you got, lady?
Like 500,000 or something.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Do you think in this age of social media that the person who wears the pants can sometimes be dictated by follower count?
The person who wears the pants can be dictated.
Like if
What do you mean?
if you're like, yo, I'm going out with my boys tonight, and she's like, oh yeah, you going out with your boys tonight? Mm-hmm. Because I got 520,000 followers that will go out with me tonight, motherfucker. So why don't you sit your ass down and watch Grey's Anatomy with me? And let's eat plants.
Yes.
Like, is that how that works?
No, not quite. No, we don't really go out that much anymore.
Of course,
so,
I'm in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like that, right, babe? No, we do most of the things together anyway. So.
She's like, of course it's not like that. You better fucking say that.
Man, I'm just envious, bro. You look at you guys kissing under waterfalls.
What's that like?
Who took this picture?
My boy Reese.
Shot Reese.
Yeah, that was in Bali. And she's actually known for her tattoo on her butt. You see it?
What does it say? Vegas?
It says vegan.
It says plant. See, our type of girls, it would say Vegas.
Vegas.
Nah, not my type of girls.
Sorry,
bro.
my type of girls would say Vegas. Yeah.
I'm just looking for a nice girl, bro.
I
you
know,
guys do a lot of this.
Yeah,
guys,
man.
And you kiss when you work out?
For photo shoots, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when
Not
I see her in the
life?
gym, okay, to be honest, we go to the gym every day together, but since we have two separate goals, like she goes her way, I go my way, and then we'll see each other and we'll run into each other and give a kiss here and there, but it's not like we're like that.
You're not one of those
I'm not shirtless.
gym couples, right?
No.
Because those, you know how I'm talking
But it's like,
about.
it's really
Like
convenient.
she wraps her legs
To
around
do
you and
sit-ups.
sit ups.
And I do pull-ups.
Oh
No.
my God,
We've never
dude.
filmed one of those videos, and I don't think we're going to.
My respect level just went up. I'm so happy.
Because just to let you know, there's a lot of unhappy meat-eating fat people. I'm not talking about myself. Dad bods that see gym couples and they get fucking sad, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bro.
Gym couples
What do
are
you
getting
think?
destroyed nowadays. You know that?
No,
online.
what's going on?
That's
Everyone's
just a running joke.
Everyone just calling
Oh, it's
them like
cheesy.
cringy and
Yeah, those ones, not you, not you.
It's pretty cheesy, but to be honest, it's really convenient because she does social media. I do social media. We're both in the fitness industry. She takes all my videos. I take all her videos. So it's like, it's a win-win for everybody.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So you just spoke at Google, right?
Yeah. Back in January, I believe.
So why is Google having you come speak? What's going on? with that?
I think I know. Was it having to do with me getting back on Google Preferred?
That's what I was thinking.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. They wanted me to get you to get back on there.
Fantastic.
So I had to
good
prepare a
news.
speech
That's
for
dope.
it.
Thank you so much, man.
What else did you talk about in the speech besides that, which is a fact?
No, I mean, I just talked about, I talked about a little bit more of my life, kind of like my background, and then how I used that background to kind of be at the place where I'm at now. Because like I've been asked my entire life, like growing up vegetarian in Mississippi, it wasn't the most open-minded relation or environment, if that makes sense. Growing up in school, it was really tough. I had to bring my own lunch to school every day. My mom packed my lunchbox and I'd open it up and it's just like straight Indian food every single day because that's what they cooked. So, in South Mississippi, nobody eats Indian food. Nobody knows, nobody's even seen or heard of it. So it's like the moment you open it up, all this flavor and smells and things come out and it's just like, what's that? What are you eating? And then I have to explain why there's no meat. And it's just like this constant conversation I had my entire life. And it was just so overwhelming for a young kid that just wanted to fit in, that knew he was so different. Like, let's face it, my parents are from Argentina. I wasn't raised in Argentina.
Are they Indian, by the way?
No. They're white. They look like me. They're straight up from Argentina. They speak Spanish. So it's like in my household, I spoke Spanish, but I was following a Hindu religion. So I was surrounded by Indians. And then outside of that bubble, I was in the deep south of Mississippi, which was Southern Baptist, very proactive preaching, evangelists. And to be honest, it was really challenging.
You were the enemy.
I was just so different on so many levels, and I didn't have that sense of identity. I didn't feel like I fit in with the Hindus because we were white Argentinians that spoke Spanish. I didn't feel like I fit in at school because I was
with us, Nimai.
Yeah,
We accept you.
I was the weird Hindu named kid that ate vegetarian food,
Nimai.
and then it's like I had to constantly find who I was and be comfortable with it. But part of that process for me was just not talking about who I was. So I just became a chameleon and essentially just lived that way all the way up until college. My friends knew a little bit more about my life and things like that and why I didn't eat meat. But it wasn't until I really came into my own, when I was 20, 24, 25, where I started talking about these things vocally because I felt enough I felt comfortable enough with who I was that nobody could question or attack that. And that's kind of what led me into speaking about it publicly online and having these questions and not being afraid
Spencer
to be.
just threw up in his mouth on the podcast, and he is now.
Sorry,
Stay on.
I bored him that much.
I'm not sure what just
Spencer,
happened.
what? I've never seen you throw up in your mouth like that before.
What did you just do?
Dude, was there a trigger word?
I don't know what happened, bro.
Can you describe it?
I think it's because I was biking and like my
swallow a
lungs.
fly?
Did you really throw up?
No, I didn't throw
okay.
up.
What
I
did you
just
pulled an anchor,
It
man.
looked like you were about to explode.
I almost died.
Are your hamstrings intact?
Must be vegan.
Damn.
I think so.
We'll see who he wants to kick off the show after this episode. That's pretty fucked up,
I had to
man.
cough off a cauliflower, dude. Man, I feel bad.
I think I got
What's
some
it-
vegan food in my
What-
throat.
what's it like as a vegan kid trying to follow a vegan diet in school right now? Is it possible?
Yeah, I would say it's probably a lot more available than it was back in the day. There's probably a lot more options now. I don't know what they serve at school lunches, to be honest.
Let me tell you
I went to
something.
public
Chicken patties,
school.
dude.
Chicken patties.
chicken
You ever
Okay.
had a pizza boat? Pizza boats.
Did you guys get
Pizza boat?
That's
Bosco
French
sticks?
bread.
Oh my God.
bro.
Danny, can you please order some Bosco sticks for the house?
But make sure they're vegan.
Vegan Boscos.
You don't have to be if you
Yeah,
can only
no,
find
that-
the non-vegan
He
ones.
said they need to be.
Bosco sticks.
Bosco sticks. Comment below, please, if you remember Bosco sticks.
Oh my God.
They're
Every
breadsticks with
Friday.
cheese. Every Friday, bro. You just dip them in the thing and just.
Wow, bro. Somebody gift that. Somebody gift that double-handed Bosco Gluck Gluck right there, dude. Gift that. Logan Smiley, I'm looking at you.
Yo, that is an interesting thing to look back on. It's like how ass our food was in
So
like Michigan and
horrible.
Ohio. I'm
Bro,
sure it was
think
the same
about
for
it.
you.
The
probably
same.
the same.
I was 42 years before
Our
y'all.
cafeteria
I went
food
in
might
there and
as
it
well
was the
been-
worst thing. It was every day. It was the same options: cheeseburgers, pizza boats, and cheeseburger pizza boats. Those were the three fucking options. Bro, I left high school. I was like 462 pounds. I had diabetes, dude. It was horrible.
Yo, this is like it's a serious thing. I love
Michelle
it.
Obama,
Yep.
great lady.
Shouts out Michelle.
She did a
Shout
lot of work trying to get better food
Yeah.
into schools.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna say what I think about Trump, but he loves McDonald's. He serves the sports stars McDonald's when
Oh
they
my
come to the
God.
White House.
We
I
changed
saw
up the
that.
food pyramid
I saw
too.
that.
Yeah. And by the way,
Oh,
she-
yeah, we did something there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was cutting weight for wrestling and even football, you know, we'd have our games at the end of the day, at the end of the school day. Wrestling, we'd weigh in at the end of the day. I always found it so difficult to either not eat for the wrestling weigh-ins or try to eat healthy for the football games. It's next to impossible.
What in small like middle America or like Midwest cities, healthy is like, well, like what is healthy in those areas?
What are they? It's a. I believe it's
desert.
food desert,
Very
right?
relative.
food
Yeah.
desert. It's
Food
a place
desert.
where there's no healthy options. It's just McDonald's, Arby's, Burger. Like that's all they have for miles. And
Like I
there's
thought Taco Bell was healthy when I was in high
by the
school.
way,
Yeah.
don't
No way.
please don't. No one start talking about Taco Bell in a bad way right now.
Oh, you're,
Don't you
okay.
fucking dare.
Now he's one of
Taco
those.
Bell is the most
He's one of those.
authentic Mexican
Oh,
food
no.
on the planet,
Oh,
and their new
no.
Gordita Crunch Box is available for $5.
Hey, that wasn't sponsored. So
No
Taco Bell, you owe us money. What about Del Taco?
That's like a West Coast thing. They don't have that in the
that's
South.
West Coast.
My
Yeah,
friend
they don't have
Mac
that in
from
the South.
London, he goes, what is Del Taco? And I described it as like a cheap Taco Bell.
It kind of is. It's just not. It's
They
like
just
a
offered.
knockoff.
They just offered the Beyond Meat crumbles at Del Taco. Now.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
So
lot
now they
of-
have vegan.
So Beyond Meat is what exactly?
Beyond Meat is an alternative plant-based version of. They have chicken. They have beef. They have beef crumbles. So that's the deal they struck with.
So it's plant-based.
Yeah, I think it's pea isolate or soy isolate. One of
Okay.
the two is like the main ingredient, and then the rest. I think. I mean, I didn't look at the full menu
Is
or the full
Beyond
ingredient list.
the brand? Because there's the
Yeah.
Beyond Burger, right?
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
company.
exactly. It's
like
Beyond
Maverick.
Burger.
Exactly.
It's like Maverick. If Maverick made a beef burger.
That's different than the Impossible Burger?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
totally different.
Impossible
Totally different food.
Burger King picked up. Did you see that?
Yeah, I
talked
did. They
about
had
this-
like a Whopper now.
Oh, yeah, the
right?
Impossible Whopper.
I think Subway just came out. Like I saw it today. Subway came out with like a vegan sandwich.
all
as
happening,
well.
man.
It's really
It's all
happening.
happening,
Carl's
bro.
Jr.
I think the conversation is going to get more interesting with this Nipsey film getting put out too. Did
Yeah.
you guys see during his funeral or his the celebration of life? I think it was his mother encouraged everyone in the audience to go vegan.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, because the
Was
documentary
Was he vegan?
I think he was actually, he might have been vegan towards the end. He was talking about it a lot because the film he's doing on Dr. Sebi,
Yeah.
who's a holistic doctor
yeah.
from Honduras, I believe. And the documentary he's doing, this guy, Dr. Sebi, discovered that a vegan alkaline diet was curing like AIDS, like all of these diseases, like reversing them. And he got attacked for it and then defended it and won. So he was able to keep making those claims.
He was vegan for a bit. By the way, when you type in was Nipsey Hussle, the first thing was Nipsey Hussle
Vegan.
Yeah, it's so I think
Well, that's just because Google's listening.
Also a possibility.
no, they are.
And we have proof of that. And unless you let us back on preferred. I mean, actually, you know what? No, we don't. Please leave me alone. Don't harm me or my family. I'm sorry. I don't know anything.
Yeah, they could literally press a button and Alexa will just get up and just
Slap you.
yeah, slap your family.
Skynet.
Shoot you in
coming.
the head with a vegan
Hey,
pancake.
are you allowed to have fun as a vegan?
Of course, yeah.
How do you have fun?
How do you have fun?
Do you use
I drink and party with my friends and dance.
I used to do that. I mean, we still party and dance with our friends. We were just in Bali and we had like an epic time.
Are y'all
but-
sober?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't. It's like we don't put like a label on it. Like I think the last time I drank was like a year ago or something like that. But it just doesn't serve me anymore. I don't know. In college though, I went to LSU, man. In college, like that was my shit. Like I drank every single weekend. The weekend started on Thursday and ended on Wednesday. You know, that was my
I could see
life.
you running a beer pong table, bro. I could
Oh
see.
yeah, dude, I was beer pong champ.
I could see it.
I was
Dude,
a champ back in the day.
Spencer, I'm sorry. Don't even try it.
No.
I am so sorry. I can't even hear you
This
say
happened.
it.
It
Please
happened.
don't even-
It happened, and I have proof that I will pull up at some point
Go ahead, man.
on this podcast. I won the beer pong championship my junior year at
Yeah, but
Michigan State
it was
University.
an oat milk championship. It wasn't beer.
It
dude.
was beer, bro. That was back in my full savage
Wow.
days.
So you sent it for a part of your life.
I did, bro. Beer
Wow.
pong champion, dog.
Hey, good for you.
D1.
My fraternity fans out there are gonna watch that part and they ain't buying it, dude.
They
There's no
ain't buying it.
fucking way.
I believe
bro.
it. I believe it. Spencer showed me some stuff he did when he was younger.
Yeah.
You were a wild man.
I was.
You remember that voiceover
believe
you
it.
made of your teachers? You want to explain that?
I really want to at some point release that to the world.
Spencer showed me a video. I'm not gonna get too crazy.
God.
You showed me a video of you were making like a promo for your school and your teachers were talking.
Oh no, it was my principal and vice principal, and they were awful. They were awful. Like
You
nobody
hated
liked them. Nobody liked them.
So
in
you
the
might as
district.
well have just done a voiceover making them say, "Look at the dicks on the wall."
He took the video of them talking and then just like
Yeah.
what's it called? Like rolled
I
in,
dubbed
like
it.
dubbed it over.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting
Hilarious.
crazy off topic here. Can you be too jacked? Are you too jacked?
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between being too jacked. You know, I competed in I mean that was right before bodybuilding contest. The Arnold. You guys are from Ohio.
I went.
he
I
is.
went there.
You went to the Arnold?
I was this close to Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was
Oh,
the best
yeah.
day of my life.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. But that was right before the Arnold. So that's like peak condition. Actually, right before. So that was peak week. So before I started drying out.
Do
before
you ever got assawipus? You're too big. You can't wipe your own
No,
ass.
I mean, you look at me. I'm not like a crazy like Phil Heath or like one of those guys that's like
do
so
you think that's
big.
where you draw the line though? Like when you start having trouble getting that Charmin up there, do you
No, I think
also, by the way,
think
it's
tampons.
great 3-ply toilet paper available at your stores.
Those plugs keep coming. No, I think if somebody wants to get that big, then by all means do whatever you want to do to get that big. But for me, I like to like look a certain way, and beyond that, yeah.
I'm
That
just
guy in
saying,
the
bro. Like
middle.
this can't. This.
Oh
No,
my
that's Photoshop.
god.
Okay, but we'll find a real one.
Good God.
Like this.
That dude's
Are
pretty
these
big.
dudes doing steroids? Is that dude doing a steroid? That dude right
That's
there.
a Pac-Man.
Yeah, yeah. That's a loading screen.
Like, come on, man. That's not real.
Of course he's doing steroids.
Look
Bro,
at
look at
his-
his
look at
his
his
veins
legs.
have veins.
Look at his legs, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a strong possibility.
Yo, I
Oh
could
my
imagine.
Those might as well be oak trees.
I could imagine that dude stepping on buildings. Can you just imagine him for a second? Like just is
What if one of them is just like
that Vitali?
I know Joe Rogan talked about this. Are girls into these types of bodies anymore?
I don't know. man.
there's someone out there for everyone.
Yeah,
That's
But
you go to those expos. I mean, you've been to like a fitness expo.
Yeah.
All those guys have girls like hanging on their arm.
I wanted all of them to punch me in the face.
the girls or the guys.
The guys.
It's kind of weird.
Girls too. That's happened.
You know what? You know what I've noticed about the girls that belong to those guys? It's either usually a really small, very small, like little blonde chick, and she's just getting dominated by this massive behemoth Godzilla man.
You know what my favorite one
or
is?
it's a girl that's as big as them. Like, you know,
Oh.
the giant bodybuilder women.
Yeah.
the guy from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Well,
saw that
the mountain.
picture. Yeah, the mountain and his
The
girlfriend.
mountain and his girlfriend. This is incredible.
Wow.
Stay
Oh,
strong,
man.
motherfucker. Dang.
Damn. He has to just buy.
To be fair, she's probably like 5'7".
Oh, no.
I mean, that isn't that guy like 6'7" or,
He's
or
like
something?
8'6".
by the way,
He's huge.
I got a DM from him on Instagram.
from him.
He's like, yo, you got to come to Iceland. I was like, are you inviting me to Iceland, bro? That's fucking tight. I'm gonna go there and get punched in the face by him. It's gonna be amazing.
Do you have like a punch in the face fetish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I had a friend like that one time. His name was Patsy. He's a real asshole. All he ever wanted to do was get hit in the face. I'm like, dude, why are you? Yes. No, he's Italian, believe it or not, Pasquale. I would always say to him, why are you always trying to fight people? And he would be like, I just want to get punched in the fucking face. He'd be out drinking and he'd be like, I just want to feel pain. I'm like, dude, you good? Like, are you all right? I think
that was always the problem with the drinking friend that just got too aggressive.
Yeah.
You guys have those?
Yeah. And you would always fall victim to it.
Evan, bro.
Oh, really?
He always tries to fight me.
What?
Nah, he doesn't always. He did once. And
now it's me.
And then I try to fight
Does
him.
he start
once.
the fight and then you gotta step in and finish it?
Yeah.
I had a friend like that too.
Man, it's just life. I'm a happy drunk, but I don't drink.
I saw you crawl on the floor one time, G.I. Joe style.
I drank too much that night.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We've all been there.
One last question on my end. There's an upcoming film.
You say last question. Are you just completely
you're
done?
gonna-
after
I'm
that?
done.
Are you going to
You're
fall
done.
back off
No,
the chair?
because I'm
Questions
saying that
answered.
because I could die. Like I almost did. I don't know how I'm still here. Game Changers film.
Yeah.
What's up with that? James Cameron's producing a vegan documentary, and you're one of the guys in it. This is a big deal.
Oh, snap.
This is a big freaking deal, dude.
Yeah, I'm one of a few athletes in it, and it's just basically James Cameron's one of the executive producers, another James Wilkes, former UFC Ultimate Fighter championship winner, also Joseph Pace. I mean, these guys are
all vegans.
All vegans, yeah. It's basically a documentary highlighting the health benefits from a performance perspective on the plant-based diet and addressing a lot of the common misconceptions about a plant-based diet regarding protein, B12, inflammation, cancer. I mean, a lot of different things. But what I really like about the film is that it promotes it from a very positive light. You know, there is no real fear mongering. It's very inspirational. And I think that when you approach anything from that angle, a lot more people will listen.
When you talk about the benefits of something versus the negatives,
like,
I agree.
Hey,
Why you
think
shouldn't
about it.
do
completely.
it, why you shouldn't do it versus why you should. Right?
Think about it, yo. When your kid's misbehaving, sure, you could spank the shit out of him, or you could explain to him why what he did was wrong and why not doing it will benefit his life.
Like imagine how much
Which
how
is
much
so-
Chuck E. Cheese candy you could have got if you didn't
saying,
act
bro.
up like a little bitch fucker. You know?
Research
There's-
proves that's the most effective way.
Yeah,
to
there's a
raise-
study I
like
read
positive
that putting
reinforcement, right?
putting
Yeah.
your kids in a cage is the best.
Is that what they're saying now? Like a kennel?
Yeah, they figured that out
no.
now.
Oh, that's
I've
tight.
never seen him be wrong about a stat, so it seems like that's probably.
Yeah, I found that from very legit science.
for all your parents out there. Are you saying like dig a hole and put him in the kennel, or do you just
No, that's inhumane.
Okay, just regular kennels. Okay,
Yeah.
It's illegal
Yeah.
to get a fish drunk in Ohio.
it's illegal
Really?
to eat garlic and then get on a bus within 1 hour in New York City. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious because your breath is overpowering enough to turn people into vampires.
I love your mind, Mike. It's just it's so quick, bro. It just goes right
Life in the
there.
fast lane, bro. I eat a lot of booze.
Hey, you going to Coachella?
Nah, I'm not going.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to everyone going to weekend too. Oh, this will be out on Monday. So question, are you out of your
If
fucking
you went to
mind?
weekend 1 and weekend 1 and weekend 2
You guys
of
went,
Coachella,
right? You guys just came back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going again.
Yeah.
you have a major problem.
Yeah. Consult a doctor ASAP.
I'm
Check
talking to
in.
you, Mark Donor.
Oh.
Check in. Why are you going for 2 weekends? You're gonna die.
Well, he's freshly single, though,
Oh.
so that gives you a lot because you go off the deep
and
end.
he's looking great.
and he looks
great.
dude. He almost looks vegan.
Really?
Yeah,
Good for you.
saw him
Mark.
last night. He was walking down the street in his underwear. What, 2 a.m.?
Yeah,
he's
he was
definitely
yeah.
vegan.
Actually, that's not a joke.
That's dead serious.
He was hunting them coyotes.
I don't know what
Hey,
you're
can
talking
we
about.
talk about some current events?
Yeah.
Little current events.
Yeah.
Current
Let's go for it.
All right. You familiar with boxing at all?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
I don't
boxer
follow
called
too much.
Jarrell Miller, and he failed his drug test, so he will not fight Anthony Joshua,
Whoa.
the legend from the
yeah.
UK.
Who is like plant-based when he trains, right?
Is he?
Yeah, I believe so. Look it up.
Oh
I don't know if
my
I don't know if he follows it all the time, but I'm pretty sure I've read interviews where he says that when he trains, he opts for a vegan
I
diet.
know Nate Diaz.
Yeah, Nate Diaz did that too.
World heavyweight champion boxer Anthony Joshua eats vegan before competing.
Anthony Joshua.
Yo,
does.
wait, wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
That
that's
actually blows my mind. That dude is 270,000
Huge.
pounds.
He's the mountain
Oh my God.
on top of a mountain.
Oh my God. Wow.
Damn.
All right. Side note,
Yeah.
that blows my mind. But I was going to say, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of this lately of people failing their drug tests. What are you pulling up?
I don't know, some Google News about someone surprising first impression of Logan Paul from Pokimane. I hadn't even seen this yet. This is big news. Front page Google. I'm not kidding. Front page Google.
From
There you
who
go.
is
Google
that?
News for you, recommended based on your interests.
Oh,
If they even knew how uninterested I am, I don't know why they would serve me that fucking shit.
Can I shake your hand?
Sorry.
I appreciate you for interrupting that.
Sorry.
No, I really do.
It seemed important.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it after. Shout out Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I got a tattoo.
Gotta catch them all.
I thought he was kidding, dude.
Squirtle tattoo. It's a Pokemon.
there we go.
Girl told me she'll never hook up with me again because that tattoo. She's serious. Anyways, the boxer Jarrell Miller, he failed his drug test and he can't fight Anthony Joshua. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of this recently of athletes failing their drug test. Why are they doing it? Why are they doing? What drugs are they doing to put in their system? Is it worth the risk? Because I'm gonna be honest, bro.
You're roiding? You're juicing?
I'm juicing.
Is it
Got that
PEDs?
juice?
Is it PEDs that they're getting PEDs that they're getting in trouble for? Is it like
What are the specifics of that, please? Like what is
Performance-enhancing.
performance enhancing drugs?
Performance enhancing drugs.
Oh, I was talking about mopeds.
Oh, those are allowed.
Yeah, you can drive those.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
Now I'm just
That's
saying,
why I
like,
got busted. Driving a
would
moped.
you have you ever done steroids?
No, never have.
And would you ever?
To be honest, when I was younger and just starting like my bodybuilding career, I thought about it. You
Yeah,
know,
for
I
sure,
think every
for sure.
bodybuilder does. I'd be a complete liar
Yeah.
if I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? But I knew whenever I
Going to
started my journey, I did my first show ever as a vegan. And that was like kind of by chance because I had stumbled upon that video and decided to like cut out dairy. And at the time I was vegetarian, but like, I knew that like I just wanted to prove it to myself. I didn't announce it on Instagram and do all these things. I just did the show, and then afterwards, I won the show, and I saw that there was something to it. Like people were really interested, so I thought, why not share this message? And you know, there was a point in time where I was like, okay, I could like really expedite this process by probably taking this stuff. And I've had like professionals tell me that like the only way you can make it in bodybuilding is if you take steroids, which, you know, I don't think that's true. You know, there's so many other things you can optimize before having to resort to something like that. You know what I mean? Most people don't even give themselves a chance to see what they're truly capable of to reach that ceiling before they automatically will take whatever under the sun.
Surely there's some sort of test that takes place for bodybuilding competitions.
In some federations, yes. In some federations, it's as simple as a P test, and I think in other ones they do polygraphs.
For my boxing fight, they cut our hair. It was like the DNA.
They do
Oh,
DNA.
that's like the best.
It's because say it grows out like you.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys
it
will
stays in your
cycle on
system,
and then like cycle off a certain time before a show and then get it out of their system.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's pretty prevalent in bodybuilding for sure. And like even in the league I compete in, it's non-tested. So like there's guys on stage that are competing with me that are clearly doing it, and it's like their personal choice. And I love those guys, and they're some of the hardest working people I know. But for me, my message was always promoting health. You know what I mean? And I never really wanted to deviate from that, partly because like my own personal longevity, I really care about. But second, I knew that like if I ever resorted to doing that, then it would completely nullify anything that I had done. You know what I mean? Like
It's
I get
you
it.
get the asterisk.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like people still accuse it. Like, there's videos about it. There's articles about it, Reddit threads. You know what I mean? Like I get it every day, and it's an argument that's not going to go away because people will see an image of somebody and they're like they paint the picture for that person. They make a lot of assumptions when they don't know the full story.
Well,
you know
and
what I mean?
you also didn't have to get back knee because back knee sucks, dude.
back knee's tough, bro.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Nah, it's tough. I had acne, bro. I didn't have back knee, but I had acne. And I will speak for someone who did have back knee because I had acne. There's nothing you can do about it.
No,
bro.
sorry.
If you're taking steroids,
steroid-induced back knee. That's what I'm talking about. And it is a far different ball game when you have steroid-induced back. I've seen some back knee that
Yeah, you
is,
see the guys in the gym that have the cysts and like
Oh, it's
really bad
horrifying.
back knee on their back.
gotta
It's
head over
pretty
to
easy
Dr. Pimple Popper.
yeah.
Oh,
And they
no.
also get
No, no, no.
the hematose like in their nipples, like where it hardens.
Gynecomastia,
Gynecology.
I had that. I had that.
You got stiff nips?
When I was going through puberty, there were these little balls on my nipples, and my boy Sean Turk would always give me titty twisters. And he was such a dick because he knew I was going through puberty, and he knew my nipples were sensitive. And he was always twisting.
Did you have them removed or they went away?
They went away. They went away, and I got pecs. It was weird.
Upgrade.
It was the predecessor for pecs.
I always wondered if you ever took roids before I met you.
Everyone does. Everyone does. Never have.
I was happy to hear that.
I think if you have any kind of like muscle and like you're in good shape and you've got a really good build to you, but like it's just a common assumption nowadays. I feel like the internet has set the bar so low that anybody that has any kind of mass is like roids. You know what I mean?
That's so stupid. Yeah.
But it's just so common nowadays because people don't really, first of all, a lot of the comments are made by people that don't work out or don't have any idea about what it takes to build muscle, or it's the same people that go to the gym every day and don't see any results. And they're like, I didn't see any results. So that,
I'll tell you what, bro. Comment section full of wizards, bro. In my opinion, they know everything. Shout out comment section. We love you. We love you. Shout out.
It's the fucking bane of people's existence. It's
listen.
usually just.
Yep.
What do you guys say we go to audio only? You want to do that?
Best idea.
Or should we talk about,
awesome.
or should we talk about that song Old Town Road?
What about
real quick?
Pokimane? Reveals her surprising first. Wait, were you really happy I interrupted you with it?
No.
Oh, my bad.
I wish you would have told me after.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
She's beautiful.
I'm interested.
Like, I'm going to slide in her DMs. I'm not going to lie. We'll see. All right, anyways, hey, listen, thank you guys for watching this episode of Impaulsive. I'm going to ask some more current event-related questions to Nimai on the audio-only version. You can catch it on Spotify and iTunes. Nimai Delgado, thank you for joining us, brother.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Where can they find you on social?
Social, just Nimai_Delgado on everything.
Beautiful. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Take it easy, fam. Peace.
My biggest pet peeve is the grunters. And I don't mean normal grunters. I don't mean like just a little extra power for that 20th rep when you're going for like a PR. I mean like the fucking idiots, bro, that are like, that sound like they're expelling
and they
a
slap
fucking
each other. No, there was a guy at my gym the other day.
That sound like turtles mating.
The turtle sex thing.
Yeah.
There was a guy at my gym the other day that was literally, he was like singing gospel.